Hello guys, it's YourDiviGuy here, and I wanted to share something with you. As always, when I started using Divi, I noticed something really repetitive on my end. What happened is that I forgot to configure the default styles for the heading, text and paragraph, and each time I added a new module I had to manually configure those styles all over again. Of course that was stupid. I could have just set the default styles in the middle of my work, however I did not know that at the time. And after sort of misery I went through, I started digging through Divi settings and found out that you can actually set up some default styles in the theme customizer. So if you go to theme customizer and go to general settings, typography, you'll see that you have separate settings for body size, body text and header text. Now, first thing I noticed is that, I mean, you have 6 different heading tags, so how does one slider of a text size affect all the heading tags? It affects all of them. If you set it to 55, the heading 1 will have a font size of 55, and the rest of the heading will be slightly decreased in size. So if I refresh this here, and if I inspect the element, you'll see that heading 1 has font size of 55, which I said before, and each lower heading, each smaller heading will have this size slightly increased. So if you wanted, for example, your heading to be 55 pixels large and heading to, I don't know, for some reason, 20 pixels, this won't be possible using the theme customizer, because it affects all heading tags at once. Of course, next step would be using CSS. So if I wanted to use specific CSS for H1 tag, for example, I can use font size of, I'm just gonna make this so large for the display purposes. So font size of the heading 1 is now 90 pixels, and if I refresh this page, you'll see that it's indeed 90 pixels, where other heading tags are using the default values set here. Let me just return this to default values. So you'll notice the default value for the header text size is 30. So heading 1 has 30, heading 2 has like 28 or something. Never mind. When you go to your builder settings, you'll see the default styles you set using CSS are being displayed within the builder, which is great. And if you wanted to provide changes to your heading 1 text, for example, go to heading text, heading 1, you can, without any problems, override the default settings, because this CSS is so low in priority and Divi CSS has a higher priority, and there won't be any conflicts, which is great. However, there's one little issue. Divi Builder has a default setting for heading size and also line spacing, also line height, which is reflecting these settings here. So when you configure these to be 30, the default value here will also be 30. However, the default value is also overridden here. So when you actually set 30 here, the CSS value will be displayed. So basically, with Builder or without using some specific CSS, you cannot get a heading size of 30 pixels in this case. So in order to, my workaround for this is that I either increase this to the maximum, or even better, decrease this to the minimum, because I've never seen a website that has heading 1 tag with 22 pixels. This is just too small for a heading tag. And if I refresh this page, you can see that now the default value in the builder will be 22 pixels, which is probably never going to be used. And since the default value is overridden with our CSS, I mean, not being able to use 22 pixels is not that big of a deal, and you can still use any of the stylings here, which is great. So, of course, you can make the same change for each heading tag. That way you can make default styles for each of the tags, including P tag. And of course you can style color, I don't know, line spacing, line height, whatever you call it, font weight, and so on and so on. So I hope guys this helped. It helped me for sure, and see you in the next video.